Hey guys, I'm Jason Rzucidlo, reporting from the 2023 Automotive News Detroit Congress. Coming up next, we'll have a discussion between José Muñoz, President and CEO of Hyundai and Genesis Motor North America, and Crain, publisher of Automotive News.
Also, on top of the electrification, we work on many other areas which complement the vision of the group. We call it MECA. We have announced investments both in the United States and in Korea about software-defined vehicles, robotics with the acquisition of Boston Dynamics. And then we have also created a company called Motional, which is a joint venture with Active, which is doing autonomous ride-hail and delivery. We're already working in Vegas and launching in Los Angeles. And we are very focused on the hydrogen wave. So we believe hydrogen is the future, especially for heavy duty and long distance. And we've been leading in Europe with Exchange, and now we're doing several pilots in order to be able to do the logistics of our new plant in Montgomery and also in Savannah, handled with hydrogen. Purpose-built vehicles is part of the vision. And yesterday we had a seminar about Superman, advanced air mobility, which is a kind of electric drones that can transport 5 to 6 people. Robotics are helping us and are helping people. So exoskeleton or also tools that can be utilized in our plants to make jobs easier and increase the efficiency, the effectiveness of our workers that get less tired and therefore have better results. So all this has also been part of the Boston Dynamics Artificial Intelligence Institute that was created in August last year. So future unfolds skywards, and we want to be the first ones to be able to connect air and earth transportation with seamless mobility that connects the sky and the ground. A lot of partnerships announced here, as in the hydrogen wave, which is part of our really big holistic strategy, as mentioned, being the only OEM who has right now in the market an SUV powered by hydrogen, fuel cell EV, which the big issue for us is the infrastructure, and we're working with the local and regional governments to try to improve. So we believe, in summary, that we are in a good position to lead in the industry. We have a very holistic group of companies that can work in all angles to have a very compelling proposition. But I wanted to get to this point, which is the end of the presentation, to make a big announcement. We asked over last year to the Center of Automotive Research to tell us what is Hyundai's economic contribution in the United States. And they came up with these results, which we are announcing here as premiere. And it was really very, very unbelievable and very, very rewarding to see that we have added 190,000 plus American jobs, well remunerated, higher wages than average American jobs, and we contribute to the American economy with more than $20 billion on a yearly basis. And this does not include all the companies of the group. So if we added the many other entities, it would be even higher. So this is what I wanted to present to you to trigger a little bit the conversation with Casey, and I'm looking forward to the Q&A. Thank you very much for your attention.
I still think it would have been pretty cool to land Supernal right out here in the front yard. We had a spot for you.
Okay, we'll get that. If the FAA allows us to do it, we'll get it done.
Yeah, I think you're too close to the border here, but okay. So, you know, again, we spent a lot of time today talking about EV markets, and we can get into some of the details there. But, you know, coming off the Munich show, sitting here in Detroit, there is a ton of new models coming to market. You guys are making improvements in your sales numbers. How are you attacking what seems to be a little bit of a slowdown in the consumer want for electric vehicles?
Well, indeed, I think the market is a little bit slower than in other countries, but it's growing. So in August alone, we saw almost 20% of our sales were electrified between hybrid, plug-in hybrids, battery electric and hydrogen, and it was an increase of nearly 50% year over year. The battery electrics represent now 10%, so half of all electrified electric, and grew more than 100% year over year. So definitely there is a gap with other markets, but there is a market that is growing, and I think the moment we bring them better product, more range, and better infrastructure, the customers are going to jump in.
You mentioned the tax credit. Does a $12.5 billion investment help at all with the tax credit?
Let me tell you, unfortunately not. As I mentioned, that we think it was unfair because we had already signed the Economic Development Agreement with the state of Georgia by the time IRA was published. So we have made a significant commitment at the time, about $10 billion to the United States to do what the government wanted us to do. So, and then all of a sudden we found out that we would have a competitive disadvantage, which is significant, by $7,500 per unit. So we thought about and we decided to double down, we increased our investments, and then we maintain so far a very solid position in the market, which I think is only going to get better once we start producing in Savannah.
And we've all heard Tavares talking about price points for EVs. He's convinced that it's between $20,000 and $25,000. You're smiling already. $20,000 and $25,000 is the right place. How much of a handicap is not getting the tax credit, and where do you guys think you're going to fit in, or where should you be?
Well, it's a huge handicap. Those who know about the cost of the product, $7,500 per unit is a little difference between making a lot of money and making a lot of losses, right? So for us, it's a big handicap. The only thing that is something that we're utilizing is the lease, so-called loophole. So we have significantly increased our lease because the units that are sold through this channel qualify, so we are having the same advantage of our competitors. We moved from roughly 10% less penetration in that segment to at times more than 40%, but still 60% of the market that customers who want the APR, that they want the cash offer, we cannot compete against them. So that's a big handicap, really big handicap. Just do the math, you do 7,500 times all the units that we sell and we're planning to sell, and you are in the billions of dollars of impact.
Jim Farley said on his earnings call he wants to quadruple hybrid sales in the U.S. over the next several years. What's your view on this? For you, not for him.
Well, I wish him the best, right? So we are really focused on electrification. We see the future of electrification. We also have hybrid vehicles, and we've felt that a lot of consumers that are reluctant to jump into a battery electric vehicle, if they get into a hybrid, they feel a little bit more confident, and they basically are able to jump into a battery electric vehicle in a better way. But fundamentally, a hybrid is a car with two engines. But when you look at it from an efficiency point of view or a cost point of view, it's very inefficient, and the consumer wants to get the same price as a car with just one engine. So longer term, we don't think this is the best solution. We see it as a transition. So that's why we're putting our eggs on battery EV and hydrogen in the future.
So either one engine or two cars for one price.
Yeah, as we used to do.
When you think about the new platform you guys are working on, what kind of improvements can you see from weight, range? How big a deal is this for your strategy?
Well, there is always room for improvement, right? And I think we're learning a lot from other industries. If you go into the aerospace industry, it's all about being light and being very efficient. And I think we've learned the hard way that the battery electric vehicle business is not the same as the ICE business. It's not about getting an ICE car and putting a battery, because then you are not optimizing the design possibilities of battery electric vehicles. We need to start from scratch. We see it in our cars, the cars that we have, like Unix, which are built, they've been born as battery EV, and doing very well, very good conditions, and they are very profitable, while others it's a little bit more difficult to make them work, right? So I think everybody's learning that, and this is one of the competitive advantages of companies like Tesla, that they started from scratch.